We are live and dangerous from the studio. We are into a routine now, Woodsy and Tash, aren't we?
We are. Nice and early. But you know what? When you speak of routine, I woke up this morning and you know when you wake up just before your alarm?
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a shock. I was like, geez, have I missed my alarm this morning? Because I looked at my wife next to me. She was feeding the baby. And I'm like, geez, have I missed anything? And I looked at it. And I was 10 minutes before my alarm. So I was actually,
What time's your alarm?
3:30.
So get up late. Tash, you're up at what? 2?
Correct. It's almost Friday. What a great week.
Great week. We've got a monster show today. We've got
have.
Survivor host Jonathan Lapali,
Oh.
my good friend. Hopefully he doesn't pull back the curtain too much on what it's like filming with me. We're also talking sporting superstitions. Yesterday we had some good chats. Someone in this room is a borderline psycho when they prep before when they used to play NRL. And it might be me, might be Woodsy.
Cat play
but
basketball?
Cat played basketball. Yeah, we're going to get into cat superstitions too. Not only for basketball, but for Cat's life. Jacuzzi may be involved.
What did she do before that?
Well,
lot of
we're about to
pH
find out.
testing.
Yes.
We're about to find out. And also, you guys know the rules. We are sending 2 lucky listeners very soon to Sin City for round 1 of the NRL in Vegas, aren't we, Cat?
Yeah, very easy. Just contribute to the show. Every caller that gets on air automatically in the running. And if you tell us you've switched from another station, we'll put your name in twice.
There you go. So just jump over, or even just say you're from another station. It's always good banter for us. Now,
Name drop that station.
name drop that station.
How many days to Vegas?
30. I've got the Vegas meter. You know that. I carry it around with me. I think it's 30. Thanks for putting me on the spot. 38. 38 days to Vegas. Sorry, just did a bit of a Rain Man. 38 days to Vegas. So
Right.
counting down the days now. Breaking news out of Concord, Tiger Town yesterday.
Hey, good news or bad news?
Well, captains for 2025 this year have been announced, and it's none other than Api Coruscant. Obviously, was the captain
Yes.
for the last 2 years, 3-time NRL Premiership winner. Very popular man in Concord, very popular in the NRL. And he joins none other than Jerome Luai, the
Yeah.
golden child, 4-time Premiership winner. Huge news. The Tigers on the up. And can they make the 8? That's what everyone's saying.
Look, there's a lot of talk out there at the moment, Bowen. It's great talk, Tash. And, you know, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I just think anything other than 17 is an improvement for that club at the moment because
Well,
they've had a tough last 3 years. But, look, I don't think they'll be in the 8, but I think they'll make an improvement. They'll probably get to about 12 or 11.
so you're saying they'll miss the 8, 12th or 11th.
Yeah, 12 or 11. They're not going to be in the 8.
They're hopeful.
Only because there's teams around them that have improved as well.
I know, but they've got some serious players.
They
some
do.
really
New
high
signings.
caliber players. I mean, Royce Hunt's joined the club. Jack Bird, Terrell May.
Terrell May, that was just out of nowhere to gain him.
May.
So good. But
Forwards made are very, very hard to get. They're skinny at the moment in the NRL, especially high quality ones. And Terrell May's numbers are as good as anyone in the game.
I think he's one of those forwards that plays anywhere from 70 to 80 minutes, and he was doing it at the Roosters, which is such a powerful club. Obviously, he had the little fallout there. Whatever happened, he moved on. Royce Hunt's going to be a big one for them because I just love the way he carries the ball. He gets a really late offload, and it's going to really bring, the likes of Jerome Buller. I think we're going to see a huge year from him this year, the fullback. He's an exciting player, and just the late offloads is going to really open the game for them.
Every time you bump into someone in the street, they're talking. Firstly, they say, "Love the show, Botash and Woodsy. You're doing better each day." They say we're doing great.
Do
We're not in quicksand. They said, but it's similar. But they talk about the Tigers. Everyone's excited about the Tigers. But let me remind you, this time last year was the exact same situation, right? Everyone was saying the Tigers are going to make the 8. They had a big trial win over Canberra.
Yes.
And they lost, 4 of their first 5 games? It was a
Yes.
really tough start to the year. But we want to know what you think, Sydney. If you're a Tigers fan or if you're death riding the Tigers, let us know how they're going to go this year. Give us a call on 133353. Will the Tigers make the top 8? Are you death riding them? Brad has called in from Camden. Mate, what do you think?
Yes, I think they're going to make the top 8, mate. Easy.
Why?
Really?
Why?
I just think it's their time.
Their time.
Can they make the
With
grand final, Brad?
With Jerome there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah, Jerome Luai helps. Do you think it's more of a spiritual thing? Are you like Tash into your star signs? Is Mercury in retrograde?
Yeah, I'll go with Tart, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you're a supporter, or you're on the bandwagon, mate? Have you always supported the
I'm
Tigers?
just on a bandwagon. I'm actually a South supporter, so I know what it's like to be
Let down for years.
Good man.
let down for years.
Good man. Let's touch base, mate. I reckon in about 16 weeks, and we'll see how they're going. We'll report back to you. But hopefully you go over to Vegas. Thanks for the call, mate. Jono has called in live from Cronulla. You are live on the air, mate.
Boys,
14 years in a row without making the semis. It'll be 4 wooden spoons as well. They are
Oh.
rubbish.
Oh, wow.
Okay, all right. Put your gun down. Put your gun down.
Is Jono a Tiger supporter or?
No, brother. Sharkies, mate.
Oh, yes.
Why, Jono, why can't they do it? Why can't they do it?
Boys, I still think they lack a bit of depth. They've got a bit of polish up front, but they're lacking a bit of depth.
What do you mean, but
I wish them
Richo's,
all the best.
Richo's come out and said they've got the greatest spine in the comp and the best backup spine.
Yeah, they do have a great spine, but what Jono's saying, if something happens to those guys in the spine, Appy might be playing Origin.
But-
Jerome Luai should play Origin.
Bowie, he said they got the best backup spine as well.
Oh, did he?
He did.
Okay. Might be eating those words.
Richo's on drugs, boys. He's
Hey!
kidding himself.
Okay, all right.
Some
Yeah,
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, we dumped that. Good work, John. I mean, does he know Richard? Mark has called in from Lane Cove.
Morning, guys.
Good morning. You are live on the air. Can they make the 8, the West Tigers?
Being a long-suffering Tigers fan, I say no. Nothing against Benji. Last year was overrated. It was his first year coaching. Nothing, and as I said, he's got great heart for the club, and we are going to get improvements with the team that we've got, but we just are not going to quite make the finals. But anything that's an improvement will be a win.
Okay. All right. So I went into Concord before Christmas a couple of times. The way the guys react and respond to Benji is they look at him like, obviously, he was Benji Marshall, the player they all grew up idolising. One of the reasons Jerome Luai went there. But he has got the house in order, right? Anyone who wasn't on the bus, anyone who didn't agree with him at the back end of last year or didn't suit his style of play, I'm talking about John Bateman, players like that.
He's resold them.
They didn't have room at the club. And I mean, that's basically what has to happen at the good clubs. It's his way or the highway. Shane Richardson's backing him. I'm backing him. They just have to weather the storm. The depth is one of my issues.
We are
one of my
backing him
issues.
here. We want him to go
you
well.
switch sides, mate. You said they're
We've
going
got
to get
5 clubs that got a back.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on.
I think they. I mean, I'm confident they'll do well, Mark. Where are you? If you had to say a number 1 to 17, where would they rank? You reckon?
Probably 9. We're good at that number 9, like we were for a few years.
Yeah. Nah,
So-
he's loading Noah's Ark, Benji. I'm feeling good things. They love him. Everyone loves Benji Marshall. Everyone wants him to see him be. He's always been successful.
I tell you what, they've got a good first 7 weeks of the competition, Bowie. They're versing sides that weren't in the 8 this year. Last season. And this is a great opportunity for him to get on the front foot from the get-go.
You got to remember he's a winner, Benji, right? He didn't have the roster. He didn't pick that roster, right? He's starting to build his own roster. They'll be good this year, better next year, but everything's pointing towards a great Tigers season. I know there's a lot of people driving to work shaking their heads because we've been saying the same thing for the last 11 years.
It'd be good if we can get Benji on and have a talk to him
We
about it.
might be able to get him on. Very busy man under a lot of pressure.
Oof.
But I've got, I could blackmail him. I've got photos of him. I could do anything to try and get him on. And that's what we're going to do on this network.
He could blackmail you too.
Yes, and announced on the weekend was the big coalition tax shake-up. Now, small businesses will be able to claim tickets to footy matches, they are saying, a round of golf, a trip to the movies, but meetings at strip clubs have been ruled out. This was all done on the weekend. Coalitions has insisted spending at brothels as well, has had a line through it. But footy matches, rounds of golf, tickets to the movies, all this will enable tax deductions for small businesses at the moment. I just wonder, what's the limit of spending here? What's the amount the business has to...
Okay, so Peter Dutton announced this over the weekend, and this is, if they get into government, a 2-year trial. So basically this is to help small business, right? We know small businesses are the heart and soul of our wonderful country.
Yes, they are.
They're struggling right now, doing incredibly tough.
Yep.
So the opposition's come out and said, we're going to help small business. So if you have a annual turnover of up to $10 million,
Okay, we're fine then. Triple M.
you can now claim work-related meal and entertainment expenses of up to $20,000. So
How
the
good?
long lunch is back.
So that's just
How good?
yearly. That's yearly.
Yes. So that means you can go and claim, if you take business clients or...
So if I go for a round of golf with my business clients,
Yes, you can claim that.
that is so good.
Is
Yes.
it?
Yeah, I think it's... What do you mean?
Okay,
Being
so we don't
active.
have any childcare, aged care policies.
Yeah, but if you're gonna
people
create a
can't
if you're gonna-
afford to live and rent, but let's bring the long lunch back.
But if you want to have a successful and a great business and create good partnerships, there's nothing better than having 18 rounds of golf and getting to know somebody.
I don't have time for golf.
What do you
And
got
all
time
those
for?
things might be announced next week by the coalition, though. You're a bit glass half empty here.
What do you mean?
Taj. Well, okay, you're opposing it because you think the money should be spent elsewhere.
Somewhere else? Sure. And look, on my concern, like the NDIS, is there's now concerns that this policy can be rorted because the devil's in the detail. T&Cs, right? You can go to the restaurant and go for a long lunch. Guess what? You can't claim alcohol.
There you go.
Oh, cheeky buggers.
Okay, but you can have the Wagyu.
Yeah.
You
Ribeye.
can. And
They're
then
quite expensive too.
Tell me about it.
are they going to do the dodgy, right? Are they then going to rort that saying, oh, no, we had all food. Can you just not put alcohol on the receipt?
They don't
Well,
do dodgies.
Small business owners are pretty honest, the ones that I know.
No, I'm the biggest supporter ever of small business. I'm just wondering whether this is really going to make a difference because the school of thought is they want to encourage more people to head to local restaurants and cafes because they are doing it very tough. I'm just wondering if this is going to make a difference to your local cafes and restaurants.
What about, but you're missing the big point. What about the poor brothel and strip club owners?
You can eat there. Can't you?
Oh,
Can you have a meal? No,
So-
I meant a meal. Like you can.
what are they eating?
Tacos.
So
Fish.
you're saying, Kat, that you can then get the tax deduction for the meals.
I want to stay out of this now.
I'm with you, Kat. Dig in, Kat. I'm with you.
Sorry.
I'm
Threw
with
us
you,
into
Kat.
it.
Sorry,
wanna
Kat.
stay out.
Dig in, Kat. I got
No.
you. I'm a celebrity, obviously airing on 10. The celebrities are about to really hit the slopes here. It's going to get really tricky because they're going to be detoxing off their coffee, sugar, their food. Day 5, 6 is when it gets really serious. But a lot of people ask me and ring, especially after listening to this show over the last few days, about my experience in there. A lot of people are asking about it. Tash, you're one of them. You want
Yes.
to know the ins and outs of what happens. And everyone says, did you receive preferential treatment? I said, no, of course I didn't. I've got to be honest with you. I sort of did.
Ooh.
So you lied and cheated,
Sort
Bo.
of did. Well, hear me out. I struggled in there mentally, as we know. It was tough. Carried on like an idiot. The food situation got the better of me very early on.
So
and
what were you eating?
every day where you get rice and beans, you get a cup of rice and a cup of beans. What we would do, we would ration it. So we would have half at lunch and then the other half for dinner, just in case. So usually a lot of the celebrities would eat, in previous seasons, would eat it all at lunch and then win dinner. But a couple of times we didn't win dinner, which was a huge issue.
That hurts.
A huge issue. For any of the ex-athletes, it was, I mean, really just me. It was a big issue. So the food was a big problem. It got to I was about 2.5 weeks in and I was really, really down, really dark, really struggling. And went and saw a producer that I knew that worked on the show. And I was talking about the Warnie situation because everyone heard that Warnie was just smoking whenever he
So you got
wanted.
some durries on there.
Well, apparently that was Warnie would smoke. Did you hear that one, Tash? Warnie
Well,
could smoke.
I'm more interested about what did they give you?
Okay, I get to the point.
Look at she's got the journalist head on. Look at it.
The last couple of days in there, I was smuggled a sandwich a day.
A day.
What did the other cast know that?
No, of course not.
Who
I had to
gave
get
you
it off my
that?
chest. It's killing me.
What type
It's
of
killing me.
sandwich?
It was a ham, cheese, and tomato sandwich that was taken from
That is so not okay.
hang
You
on,
deserved it.
breakfast that day. I ate it at about 4 p.m. And that's when I knew I was mentally cooked because it didn't really change how I felt. I ate it and obviously felt, obviously a little bit fuller and I thought I'd be clearer, but I just couldn't shake the darkness that I was going through. I did try and get it more than once per day. Didn't happen because there was there's a logistical situation. You got to know people who know people, but I just had to get off my chest because you know something. The way you look at me and interrogate me, I can't lie to you. I can lie to a lot of people in my life, but not you, Tash. So the ham, cheese, and tomato
looks inside
sandwich.
your soul.
Now the ham, cheese, and tomato sandwich is off my chest. I feel better.
Okay, so you were getting that once a day?
Just at the end, last couple of days.
So you 4 weeks in
2
there?
or 3 days.
4
2 or
weeks in
3
there?
days. I was in there for 3 months, 3.5 months.
And who?
No, I was only in there for 3 weeks.
And who knew that you were getting those sandwiches?
Me and the producer.
That's
Me and
it?
the producer.
So thinking that now up, do you think any other of the players that were in the jungle would have got some stuff too?
In my season, no, because I brought it up one night for dinner and they all looked at me and I went, joking. But I'm sure in previous seasons, the people, not that they have it in their contract, but if you know people that work in TV and if you know people that can help you out, I'm sure they can make things happen.
So was it on a serious note, just about actually looking after you because you weren't doing okay?
Maybe. I mean, they tried to keep me in there, obviously. They wanted to keep me in there. Channel 10 wanted to keep me in there, but I was a broken person.